Welcome, Wargamers, to the final part of our Age of Sigmar Star Collecting Box reviews, and we're ending it all with ironjawz. So, the ironjawz box comes with 1 War Chanter, 3 Gore Grunters, and 10 Ardboys. Now, right off the bat, before anything, I want to say that this is probably one of the most beautiful model kits that Games Workshop has released. I was a bit surprised that it came out, actually, because the War Chanter and Gore Grunters are so new and frankly not cheap, that to have them in a Star Collecting box so quick to the Factions release, it was actually super impressive to me. It gives me great hope for Fire Slayers in the future. That being said, there are some things about this Star Collecting box that kind of set it apart from the others. Mainly the lack of versatility in there. The War Chanter doesn't have a command ability. The Gore Grunters don't have a lot of options available to them. There's not a lot of synergy and buffs involved in here. It's very good for your youngest and newest players who are struggling to understand kind of the keyword series. There's none of those. Don't worry about it. Like almost none of those whatsoever. I think the War Chanter has a thing, but that's it. So it's a very, very straightforward box, and people take straightforward as a negative quality. However, for the right player, it is definitely an asset. So let's kick it off with the units. This will go pretty quick because there's only 3 in the box. We're going to start with the Ardboys. Much like the normal Orcs or greenskins orcs, they have a drummer that gives them +2 to charge. Given their low speed because of the heavy armor, that's actually incredibly valuable. Always build a drummer. I highly, highly recommend it. Also, like the greenskin orcs, they have banner options where they can either get +2 bravery when they're in combat, or a 6-up save against battle shock losses. If you lose 10 guys to battle shock, each one of them gets a 6-up save. Which one's better? Because these guys are a little more heavily armored, I go towards the +2 bravery, meaning you're less likely to lose a bunch to shooting on the way in, so your battle shocks I don't think will be as devastating. They are not nearly as much of a horde army as bone splitters or greenskins, so I don't think battle shock is your biggest fear. I think it's better to have the bravery bonus. And they actually get a few options on weapons. They can do double hand weapons, 1 weapon, 1 shield, or like a 2-handed like mega weapon. Basically the shield, it's fairly good. It's a 6-up save against anything, which funny enough is actually a lot like the bone splitters. And really that's pretty much it. They do have rend available to them. They don't have a whole lot of buffs available. There's not a whole lot going on to the hood. Ardboys are very, very straightforward. Next up is the Gore Grunters, which is probably one of the most blank war scrolls in all of the game. By that I mean they move in, they charge. If they charge more than 8 inches, I believe, they get D3 to their damage for the boars themselves rather than 1, which is great, but that means you have to make a 8-inch charge every time to get that bonus. So it's very dependent on what kind of positioning and luck you do. They do not get the drummer, which gives them +2 to charge, which would be phenomenal, but they don't do that. There's not a whole lot going on. Like I said, that's really the only special rule on their thing. So there's not much to talk about, other than the fact that they are one of the most gorgeous models that Games Workshop has released lately. Have you seen them? They're ridiculously cool. And that brings us to the last one, which is the hero of the box, and that's the War Chanter. Every ironjawz model around him within 10 inches gets, what's it, +1 to hit, which is pretty awesome. They do provide a lot of, they provide the only real synergy within the set itself. For him personally in combat, and he's no slouch, every 6 to hit is an extra attack. It's okay. It's okay. There's not, like I said, this set is extremely straightforward. There's not a lot of synergies with that, so how I would suggest playing it, put the Gore Grunters on a side, have the War Chanter move up with the Ardboys, and try to flank your opponent. Do as much damage as possible. Don't make the mistake of assuming that the Gore Grunters bonus to charge means you have to charge from 8 inches away. Don't. It can often be a trap. A lot of times you just won't get them into combat, so keep that in mind. Now, if you bought the ironjawz set, first of all, do not feel like you made a mistake. This is a beautiful set. It's awesome models. It's a great faction. I just don't think that this box does the best thing of representing that faction. If you are dedicated to sticking with ironjawz, what I'd suggest is buy 2 of these boxes, because Gore Grunters are still beautiful. You're going to want Ardboys. Second War Chanter, you can spread the love with that +1 to wound. And then buy a Mega Boss. right? Because he is the iconic leader of the army. He might not be the best unit, but he sure is up there. So you can start to have like this kind of slowly building army. Right now, with the way their battle tone works, brutes are definitely the most like valuable player in the thing. Brutes have massive amounts of weapon options. They're tough as nails. They can do all kinds of stuff. So I would invest in those pretty early on. Now, if you're looking to a destruction army, I would actually say with this, pair it with the Greenskins box that we reviewed last time. The reason I say that is the Greenskin box comes with a war boss with a command ability that does affect ironjawz as well. Any Orc, that's important, model gets +1 to attack. So on Ardboys, Gore Grunters, even the War Chanter himself, that means a lot. Plus, when you combine the fact that you have your smaller infantry, the Orcs, and your heavier infantry, the Ardboys, and then 2 units of flanking cavalry, the Gore Grunters and the Boar Boys, and then there's a chariot in there. There's actually a lot of moving parts that make this pretty effective when you combine those 2 boxes. So in summary, if you're going to stick with ironjawz, invest in more Ardboys, something with a command ability that's going to benefit your army. Really try to focus on ironjawz units that will add as much value as possible. Usually just more dudes. A lot of Ardboys, a lot of brutes are like I said, are very, very, they're the MVP right now. If you're going to split off to Grand Alliance Destruction Army, I do recommend the Greenskin box just to get you going with your Orc word synergies. Other than that, something that fills the role of a light infantry, so like grots and things like that, are definitely a cool way to go. Either way, if you're playing match play, this box clocks in at 440 points, and it's a great value for the models that you get. If you enjoy the hobby aspect and the kind of the new aesthetic, this box, I think more than others, represents the new vision that Games Workshop has for its models. So if you're just a collector, it's a great set. You're a painter, great set. Don't think twice about it, it's amazing. If you are looking to build a competitive army, it's a great starting block because you save money on those models individually, but going forward you're going to really want to expand to some areas that are not covered by it, like brutes, megaboss, things like that. So just keep that in mind. It depends on what you want out of this set will greatly determine its value to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've really enjoyed doing the Age of Sigmar Start Collecting Box reviews. I'm going to start doing them for Warhammer 40k 8th edition. We're still going to be Age of Sigmar focused on this channel, but people love this content and they love to know that the purchases they make are great or whether or not they should be leery of anything. So it's something I want to do for the community, and I'm really excited about 8th edition as well. Thank you so much for watching, and happy wargaming.